Hello everyone and welcome to Twin Flame Tarot. So today we're doing a powerful one. We're doing the Justice card. So we're going to look at this together. We're going to talk about the cards, how it makes you feel, what you feel from the card. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it in respect to the Twin Flame journey and what it means for both the masculine and the feminine. So let's look at the card together now. The Justice card, a card of power. You can feel that automatically when you look at the cards. So remember, when we're learning tarot or when we're tapping in with the tarot cards, it's always about the way the card makes us feel, the way we connect with the energy of it in every reading, because every reading we do is different. So every time you look at the Justice card, every time you connect with it and channel it, you're going to pick up something different from it. You may be noticing the red robe he's wearing. Maybe that beautiful green cloak or the crown on his head. You may be drawn to the sword or the pillars or even the scales or the beautiful purple cloth behind him. What are you guided to when you look at this card? So first of all, we're going to start with the numbers. So we've got the X and the 1. So this is the number 11. And remember, 11 is a number about the universe. It's what we see when we are waking up. We see 1111. We see 1111 to show us that we are not alone and there's something much bigger going on, that there is justice in the world. Because sometimes we feel that we are hard done to, or, you know, we feel like things are wrong or not going our way. And we really just want balance in our lives. And we find that within our life anyway when we connect with our spiritual path, because we realise that everything has a reason and there is always a plan. So when we're seeing 1111, we're being reminded from the universe to have faith, to trust, to know that we are safe. And 11 is about believing. And when I connect with this number, we've got the X and the 1. So the X is about endings because it signifies change with the number 5. But also, if you look at it like the X is about the past and the 1 is about the new beginning ahead, because the Justice card also signifies an ending. So it's a great symbol when this card is shown to you in a reading of karmic endings. Things that are no longer resonating with our soul that we need to release. Things that need to go. And the karmic ending is coming to this end of a cycle. So it's a great positive sign, especially if there's something that's been weighing you down or on your mind, or something you've been struggling with and you need to see a change. And it's a big sign of balance coming in, the truth coming out, things being resolved in a very powerful way. So the X is about the past, the 1 is the new beginning, and the 11 is asking you to believe. You can see the scales down on the right-hand side, so he's holding the scales, which is connected with balance. And the scales are also connected with Libra energy, which is also connected with power. So the Libra is about, you know, kind of overcoming the ego and the fears and things going on within the matrix reality. So those scales there are showing you that things are moving into your favour because things are aligning. The scales are equal. You know, they're not unbalanced or one way or the other. They are equal in this card. So it shows equal balance. Everything working out for our higher good. Changes that take place for the higher good of all. And you can see the powerful sword there, which signifies change, because when we see the sword, we connect it with Archangel Michael. And you may be seeing this king in this card as Archangel Michael. You know, you may see him as a judge, you may see him as an emperor, you may see him as an angel watching over things. But he's showing you power. And power comes from within and above. And I always see this energy around this card as Archangel Jeremiah, because he is the angel that comes in when we are dealing with karmic endings. He's the angel that comes in when we need to review our life and make changes to bring in a better future. But that sword there is Archangel Michael's sword of truth. So he's allowing the truth to come out within this situation. He's allowing you to cut cords with the past and to release what no longer serves, to replace it with balance and harmony and peace. And peace is the greatest wealth of all. The beautiful purple cloth behind him is significant to Archangel Jeremiah, and the way he helps us to review our life, to renew our life. So when this card comes up, we know that things are changing for the better. And usually this means karmic endings. And we've got the two pillars, which is pillars of strength, doors opening, moving ahead. And because he's sitting on this throne or this chair, he feels very calm and relaxed, and he's ready to take control. The red robe of Archangel Metatron, reminding you that everything is in divine timing. Everything is within God's plan, and there's always a reason for what takes place. Even if sometimes we don't understand, we learn to trust. And the beautiful green cloak there, bringing in the beautiful healing energy of Archangel Raphael, helping us to feel less burdened. And I'm seeing that cloak there as being released. We may need to take that cloak off. And that's like releasing burdens from our shoulders, letting go of fears, letting go of illusion, and trusting that all is well. And the concrete below his feet there is about stability and power, and things changing for the better. So the scales are showing you balance, power, decisions, solutions, things falling into place in your real world, things that you may have been waiting for. The big life review, so you can renew things in your life and bring the truth out. The Justice card can also be connected with divorce or legal settlements or legal documents or legal situations. Something connected maybe with finances or with a court environment. And it's reminding you that when we call on heaven and we speak to the angels, fairness comes in. So cut cords of fear around anything legal or financial or anything that you're battling out. Because the Justice card can also mean karmic battles, things that you're going through, whether they are connected with material things or with the emotions. We can handle it. We are safe. This can mean sorting out red tape, especially if there is a marriage breakdown that's leading to divorce or some form of legal thing that needs to be supported within ourselves. We trust. So we're receiving with this card the legal counsel, the legal support, the legal assistance, the balance that we need. We may be receiving advice from people, whether that's advice from our angels and our guides, or listening to our intuition, or physical people bringing in physical help. It's a card of fairness and truth, being able to speak the truth. And that's why I also feel Archangel Michael in this, because he gives us the strength to stand strong and to speak our mind and to know our truth. So I'm really feeling this whole card is about truth and power and things coming out into the open and things being released. And again, remember, it's how it's aspected. So if this card, for example, comes up with the Death card, it's a big sign of karmic change, endings, new beginnings, the end of one life for a new one to begin, for the highest good of all. So always take into consideration the cards that come out with the Justice card. Because if it's in release, if it's in reverse, it's about release. But it means that you may be feeling unbalanced if you see reversed, or if you feel the energy. It's more about feeling the energy, and that's really what the angels want you to know. You don't have to see a reverse card to feel the energy. You just know, because you're listening to your intuition. You're trusting in your guides. So if it's in a reverse position or you're feeling that, there may be fears around commitment. This person may be feeling unworthy or unbalanced, and they really have the need to refocus and to release and to find their freedom and to realise there's no limits in this limitless universe. So there may also be fears around, what will happen, what will be. Fears about the future, especially with any legal situations ahead. And this is also a card about fighting for what's right and fighting for equality. So what I'm feeling is, you know, this could be someone who's very powerfully into human rights or wanting to lead in some way. And we're all leaders in this journey as we wake up. We are light workers. We are tapped in, tuned in and connected with Source. So we step away from the crowd and we follow our own guidance. We become the leader and the example in the light. But this is also striving for balance, striving for understanding that the past is gone and the future is still being created. It's what happens now that matters most. And it's also about balancing the emotions, you know, balancing our understanding of this life, because everything that happens in this life is neutral. It's the way we see it that makes it good or bad. So you could see the scales as the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine energy. You could see the scales as the way we weigh things up in our mind and work things out with our rational mind and our irrational mind. And it's about knowing that sometimes on this journey, this twin flame journey, we have to move from logic into love. That means we don't pay so much attention to our head space and we go into our heart space. And that's how we feel and truly know the truth. Because sometimes on this journey, the divine masculines can say things they don't mean and, you know, bring in pain and suffering because they are in pain and suffering. So we have to look through the illusion. And that's what I'm seeing with the crown there, because the crown is gold and it's about riches and fairness and power. And it's also about illumination. And I'm seeing the square on the crown in the middle of the head as the third eye opening to the truth. So there's a great healing energy that comes in with this card because balance is ahead. So if this comes out in a reading, it's a good sign. Okay, so it may bring up fear. Any fear that comes up with this card is about the unknown, about fear of the future. You know, feeling out of control maybe, or that somebody may know more than you. Because this is like a card of authority. So if you're worrying about authority, people taking over, you know, people controlling you, it may bring up fear. And that's something that's being worked on too. But this is a great card when you're dealing with anything that you need to deal with. Call on Archangel Michael for the strength to make changes, speak the truth and cut cords with the past, and to release things that need to go. Call on Archangel Jeremiah to help you to review your life, which will renew your life, because he is the angel who nudges you where you're meant to go. And he will bring in fairness and power for the higher good of all within any legal situations, with anything you're dealing with financially or anything from the past. He will help you to create a harmonious and a balanced ending. Especially, as I said, if you're going through some form of karmic change, like a need to divorce or part ways or make changes. He will bring harmony in, and Archangel Raguel coming in too to bring that harmony in. So the Justice card is really about power working together. You know, think about in film, you've got the Justice League. You know, they bring justice into the world. They are fighting for what's right and for what's good. So that's what this card is. It's about bringing goodness in for all. And sometimes we have to look past the ego and the pain because we think that something is good, but it may just be good for you. The angels balance it and kind of weigh it up from all aspects. So it's for the highest good of everyone involved. And when you trust your journey and have faith, know that the highest good of all is always a blessing. It's always a blessing in disguise, and whatever you're going through now, you'll look back later and feel at peace and know that everything happens at the right time for the right reasons in the perfect right way. Amazing. Such a powerful card, and I am wearing Justice earrings today. I don't know if you noticed that. And remember, I did say as well, I'm going to be giving away some of these earrings at the end of the series, so stay posted for that. So the Justice card, and it's really powerful when we look at it head on. You know, we pick all these things out of the card. So what did you pick out of this card? What really stuck out for you, you know, or stood out for you? What did you connect with? And if you want one word or 2 words for this card, it's karmic endings. Release, power, truth. You know, truth, fighting for the truth. They're showing me like the Statue of Liberty. You know, and there's a film, and it, you know, which film is it now? Is it The Lost Boys? And he says, fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. And you're fighting for your way. Truth, justice, and your way. To stand in your power and know your truth. So a great message when you get the Justice card coming up about karmic endings. You know that something is changing, something powerful is going on, and that's great news, especially if you're asking about if they're going to leave that person. They're giving me fear. You know, if there's any fear around them walking away, you know, from the past, and I have to release the fear. So whenever we're in fear and we ask about a karmic situation and we receive the Justice card, it's a very powerful sign. It's asking you to have hope and to trust in the journey. So from the twin flame perspective, we've got justice and we've got the lighthouse. And I love this because the reason I chose this picture for this card was because the lighthouse stands strong in that stormy sea. And I know I speak about that often, but this is the light that shines out of the divine feminine. The way that you shine your light brightly, and it guides everything to you at the right time. And it keeps your divine masculine strong because he picks up on your power. And that allows him to make the changes that he's already been guided to make. So whenever storms come at you, and the Justice card, it can bring storms. Chaos, upheaval, arguments, especially arguments over money or material things. And we have to stand strong. So whatever comes at us, whatever stormy sea hits the lighthouse, it's not going to fall over because it's built on a solid foundation. And so is your love. Prepare for karmic endings and change that will lead to a new beginning and peace. And that's really what we want more than anything else. We want peace, because peace is the best form of health we can have. Because when we feel at peace, everything flows. Everything moves forward with ease and grace and power. So the Justice card for the Divine Feminine says, I trust in karmic endings. And that's what the number 11 is saying to you. Trust. It's like the universe getting your attention and asking you to trust. Trust that it's all happening for your higher good and the highest good of all. I trust in karmic endings. So if this Justice card comes out, it's a big sign to trust. Especially if you're in this fear or chaos or in doubt. Replace it with faith and trust, knowing that the karmic ending is coming and it will happen in divine timing. And for the Divine Masculine, we've got I need emotional balance. And that's another thing that the scales represent, emotional and physical balance. You know, if they've been going through anything physically, you know, upheaval, it's making them ill, they're feeling drained, tired, and you get the Justice card coming out, it's like a card of recovery. Things are going to get better because things are becoming more balanced within their life. There's more peace flowing in. I am reviewing my life to release myself from karmic binds and toxic situations to find peace. So when we feel peace, when we're not feeling guilty about things or hiding things or, you know, running away from things, we feel at peace. And then we feel emotionally balanced too, which also brings in a great healing in the physical body. Because when we feel at ease, there is no dis-ease. And that's what's created in the physical self. So the masculine is saying here, I am reviewing my life. And that's what Archangel Jeremiah helps us to do. To review our life, to make changes. And you can see that the tarot tells a story. And when we've done all the major arcana, we're going to put them all together and we're going to do spreads before we move on to the minor arcana. But you can already feel the changes. The Justice card leads to the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man leads to death, and it goes on because it's bringing in the changes that are required to move things ahead. Because we need sometimes to find balance, we have to go within and see things from a higher perspective, which is the energy of the Hanged Man. And that can create delays. So, if there's a delay around this karmic situation, it's happening for a reason. So it will be ended cleanly and, calmly for the highest good of all. So everything is always for the highest good of all, not just you, not just them, but for everyone involved in this situation when you get this card. So the masculine is saying, I'm reviewing my life to release myself. I need to release myself. So if you get the Justice card coming up with aspected cards like the Death card and even the Eight of Swords, huge sign that they are moving on or gaining the power to move on from their situation. I am reviewing my life to release myself from karmic binds. So what's a karmic bind? Something they feel stuck in. Something that may create red tape like debt or, a commitment or something that's dragging them down, and toxic situations, places where they feel stressed out all the time and they feel ill in those situations and they feel drained, are less of a person. So they're releasing themselves from all of this. So when the Justice card comes up for the Divine Masculine, it's a great sign of change, that they are moving towards a state of balance and a state of peace. So ultimately a great card. If it brings in fear, okay, and I know it does, especially if you're in fear about something connected with money or finances or work or something, some legal situation. Maybe it's connected with the government. You could see this as, someone who is a judge. So the angels are also saying, if you're asking about a career move and you want to go into, something connected maybe with the government or something connected with court or becoming a barrister or a solicitor or a lawyer or any of those things, this card may come up. It's really powerful because my sister is a very powerful lawyer. Okay, she works for the government, and last time she came, even though she doesn't really understand the tarot and she's a lot more open to it than she used to be. And I did a reading for her and the Justice card came out. And I knew that this was fairness. She was going through a divorce and she was going through other things at the time. But I knew that this was also connected with a job. So, and most of you watching won't be interested in that kind of stuff anyway because you're very spiritual. And when we are spiritual, we may pay attention to these things, but we don't really give it our all or our energy because we're more interested in doing readings or helping people. So, use your intuition because this may signify something connected with the person you're reading for. If you're reading for someone who isn't a twin flame and the Justice card comes up. But always a sign of karmic endings and divorce and change and balance flowing in and life review with Archangel Jeremiah. And you could see, the yellow behind. When I'm looking at it now, it looks like a big sun that's emerging. So you could see this as well as the dawn of a new day, like the new beginning that's coming from this change, releasing the past. And the 5 or the V or the, or the X, it's the X, isn't it? Because it's 11, it's 10, not 5. But it's about changes. 10 is power. And they're giving me the X as in the X, the past. So it could again be the ex-partner, the moving away from, the releasing an ex-job or something that served them that doesn't. So it's X, it's parted from their life. And they are releasing that to bring in this new beginning. So yes, dramatic change, but the X is also a symbol of power. It's also releasing yourself from toxic things. Releasing yourself from things that need to change. In horror films and stuff, if a demon comes at you or, we go like that. Because we're saying, oh, it's like the sign of the cross. And, if you look at it like that, it's a cross. So it's also about protection. And that fairness is protection. We are protected. So this is also a great sign that wherever you're going through in your physical reality, you are protected. So this could be connected with a rainbow or a sign from heaven of divine intervention and divine protection. There's nothing to fear. So if you're worried about money or you're worried about a situation, you're worried about work, if you're going to be okay and you pull the Justice card, the angel's saying you are safe. You are protected, guided, supported because you are source energy and God is your source. So really there's nothing to fear when we get this card, because we know the angels are on it, bringing everything in to bring balance into our lives and help us to feel safe. And if you're tapping in with the twins, you've got the scales representing as well the alignment with the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So it's also a great sign that, if you've been giving and feels like the scales are tipping because you're giving too much and they aren't giving enough, it's a sign that it's coming into balance. So it can also be a symbol of impending union, incoming union, because the scales are balancing. So you may be feeling more in tune with everything, more sensitive to the masculine's journey, more in control of your own, because you're now balancing things out and you're seeing things from a higher perspective. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next card with the Hanged Man. Have a great day, sending you so much love, and I'll see you soon.